Yes, it's a must-win. Here's a couple reasons why. Number one, the Warriors have won 19 straight series in the Western Conference under Steve Kerr, right? Under Steve Kerr, they've won 19 straight. I'm not sure the Warriors against this Lakers team. Who knows? Can they come back from 0-2? I wouldn't doubt them. Mm-hmm. But it wouldn't be ideal to go down 0-2 with 2 home losses. However, how about this stat? And I know this is going to scare you. The LeBron James has won 19 straight series after winning game number 1. He's won 19 straight series after winning game 1. All time in his career, he's 28-2 when he wins game 1 in the series.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing we've got the LeBron stopper and Steph Curry. Just going to let that sit there?
I'm going to let it sit there, Happy. You did it to yourself. May the fourth be with you. May the fourth be with you, Shasky.
Honestly, like, when it comes to LeBron James' numbers and stats, why would anyone be surprised with any of the numbers being historic with him?
Right.
Like, you're talking about one of the greatest players to ever play any sport. You know what I mean? Like, LeBron is LeBron, but it is a different version of LeBron. I don't know if you caught some of the Draymond Green podcast.
I listened to it yesterday.
And he was talking about how different his floor game is, and he didn't really elaborate on what he's seen, but what I'm seeing is definitely a different version of LeBron James. He's picking and choosing his spots. It does feel like he's just...
He's
not
playing off the ball more.
What?
He's playing off the ball more.
Yes, he's not putting his imprint as a dribbler as much as he used to, and it does feel like defensively he takes time off.
Well, it's a lot more ball movement with the LA Lakers. He's allowing Schroeder to touch the ball. He's allowing D'Lo to touch the ball, and they're playing through Anthony Davis. He's playing second fiddle to Anthony Davis on offense. And look, he's sitting up there as a spot-up shooter. He's not shooting well as a spot-up shooter at all in these playoffs so far. But he's LeBron James, and he's capable of exploding one game where he goes for 6 threes or 7 threes. That's how great he is. So it is a different version of him. But Draymond Green, and we're going to get to everything. Look, Jonathan Kuminga spoke to the Chronicle yesterday. C.J. Holmes, when that C.J. Holmes on at 9:30, I thought it was very, very interesting what Jonathan Kuminga was discussing. But Draymond Green on that podcast put it on himself. He said, I have to play better. I have to play better. Simply, it's on me. I played like crap, and I'm disgusted with myself. And everybody saw that. You know, everybody was trying to get on Jordan Poole and, you know, Steve Kerr, who joined Willard or Dibbs yesterday right here on 95.7 The Game, touched on how Jordan Poole's a lightning rod or whatnot. But Draymond Green needs to step up his game, and I'm glad he took the accountability to say that because he did not play well.
He seemed very – we've heard this from him before, and it's kind of interesting. Like, I've listened to that podcast a lot. I mean, every episode, really. And the thing that I keep coming away with, every time he's disgusted with himself, those are his words, not mine. It's like he plays so bad offensively, and then he's obsessed with the referees. And you brought up so many things yesterday. So I'm watching the game back yesterday, and I'm trying to do my studying. I'm looking for different matchups and, like, what flip stuff. And I do believe, you know, watching it live was like, oh, that third quarter – things happened in that second quarter that set up the third quarter.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, one of the things I noticed, and you brought this up yesterday, and I think it's a poignant remark. When Draymond is not playing any offense whatsoever, it affects his focus, and then he becomes hyper-focused with the officiating because he's trying to put his imprint on the game defensively, and he almost cranks up the physicality, and he was unhinged. He was unhinged, and I wish that he would channel that energy into his offensive production, and I've noticed that when he is playing well offensively,
he's a happier guy. He's moving. He's hopping.
He's not as obsessed with the calls.
It's not. He's just hooping. He's just locked in, and I think we're going to see a locked-in Draymond Green. The Warriors know they can't go down 0-2. They just can't go down 0-2. They need to get one. You get this one today, and I think the Warriors will win today. And we go back to L.A. on Saturday, and it's going to be a split, and you get one down in L.A. But you got to take care of business. And look, a lot of things went their way. They hit the 3-ball well. They didn't get to the free throw line. I expect them to get to the free throw line a lot more today. I expect them to not to continue to take care of the basketball like they did outside of Steph and Curry. Only 8 turnovers. Curry had 5 of them. I'm cool with that. Draymond had none. Jordan Poole had none. But Draymond Green, I think he's also going to take on the challenge of defending Anthony Davis at times and money times. And there's a lot of talk about how much you could play Looney on Anthony Davis. Man, you're going to have to pick your spots. And it was a fill-out game for the Golden State Warriors as they lost their third straight game one under Steve Kerr. But that's crazy. But Draymond Green, I think he's got to be engaged here. There's a couple things here with Draymond Green that I think will help him, and I think that's lineup situations. I don't think you can go to a lineup with, at times, Gary Payton II and Draymond Green. That looked clunky, especially in that second quarter where GP2, and you heard Stan Van Gundy on the broadcast saying, boy, they're not guarding GP2.
Exactly.
They're not guarding Draymond Green. Well, I can't have too many non-scoring threats on the floor in this series.
You know, GP2 doesn't have the same bounce that he had last year. He doesn't look like he has the same just physical stoutness. Not that he's not an important player for what they've got going on this year. He just doesn't look as in rhythm as he was last year. Mm-hmm. I think that he's really reluctant to shoot right now. I think there's a couple of guys that are reluctant to shoot. On the Anthony Davis question, though, Bonta, I keep coming back to this. When they faced Sabonis, they had a very clear plan. We're going to play you man, but when you get so deep in the paint, after playing deny on a lot of those dribble handoff stuff, we're going to collapse and we're going to send those late doubles. How would you defend Anthony Davis? Because I've been thinking about this long and hard. You want to play him straight up because I do think they've got better shooters than in years past. About the Lakers. Not better than the Kings, but I do think they have better shooters. But when he gets so deep in the paint, you almost have to concede the 2 points because even if you throw a double at him, he's going to rise up and elevate above those guys.
The thing for me is, I don't say you let him cook, but I don't want to double off of LeBron because all of a sudden LeBron gets a running start and he gets the ball in his hands. I don't want to double off a shooter because he's more than capable of hitting it three. I don't want to double Austin Reeves. I want to keep him out of this series. I want to keep him like Kevin Huerter. I want to keep him down. Yeah. I want to take the ball out of his hands. The guy you double off of is Vanderbilt. You say Jared Vanderbilt hit 7 threes.
Yeah.
I dare you.
Yeah.
Shoot the threes. I dare you. So that's the guy you double off of. You saw Draymond Green sag off of him, especially early in the game from the corner. Now, he was 1 of 3 from the three-point line, but I'll live with him shooting. So one thing with Anthony Davis is you got to be aggressive before he gets the ball.
Yes.
You got to make him fight for the basketball. He got too many clean touches when nobody touched him. He got to just roam around in the paint 10 to 15 feet, put his hands up and get the ball. You got to be physical with him. You got to make sure you give him a couple forearms in the ribs here and there before he touches the ball here. You got to get physical with AD before he gets the ball, make him work then, and then finally when he gets that ball, all right, now you play him straight up. You try to make it tough on him because, look, he's a great player. He's going to get his. But I thought they did that in the second half.
Yes.
Only 7 points in the second half for AD.
So, I want to make him do 2 things. I want him to continue to prove that he can shoot from the outside. That's number 1. If he's hitting, he's hitting. I can live with him shooting 20 to 25 footers. I also want to see him put the ball on the floor to his left. If I'm the Warriors, you can't let him go to his right because that's his strong hand. And then he gets that little kind of baby hook kind of going because 1-2 dribbles to his right. Now he's in the paint and now he's in his soft spot. I want to force him left. So to me, I think their defensive effort has to be force him into dribbling to his left and make him into a passer.
I agree. He's so long. He gets to the cup, 2 steps, boom, finger roll. He's at the rim. He's a big boy, man. He's a physical specimen, big boy, grabbing rebounds or whatnot. So that's one aspect of everything. But I think it starts with Draymond Green, and he put it on him. Draymond Green has to be a threat offensively. He knows that. I mean, the stats are out there. In the regular season, when he scores 10-plus points per game, when he scores 10 points in a game in the regular season all time, the Warriors win 78% of the time. 78% of the time. AD's a happier guy. He's just rolling. So he's got to be a threat offensively. How do you play the matchups here? I think another thing when it comes to role players, and I think Jordan Poole is going to be fine. Everybody's getting on Jordan Poole. The last shot. Hey, I don't know, and I don't care. Donte DiVincenzo, I think Steve Kerr has to make the commitment to DDV and say, Donte, you're seeing 20 minutes. Because if I'm going to pick between GP2 and Donte DiVincenzo, let's just face it, DiVincenzo has been better. He's been better.
He
in terms of just everything. He brings everything. He just brings more to the table. Is the drop off of defense from GP2 and DDV significant? I don't think so. I think you're going to get some of the same type of production. Now, GP2, he looks so small in this series, and he'll get the block shots or whatnot. But, boy, I I personally think Dante DiVincenzo needs to get the commitment here to get 20 minutes a game because he could threaten that defense with his shooting. If he's going to get, like the shots the Warriors got for the three-point line, and you watch it back yesterday, they got a lot of great looks from the three-point line. Great looks. Dante DiVincenzo, I believe, with the space that he will get from the perimeter, can hit that shot and be a difference maker. And the extra ball handler where he could penetrate or pull up for the mid-range. I think this has to be a DiVincenzo series. DiVincenzo and GP2 seem redundant to me. They seem redundant to me, especially on the watch back.
They do, but I think DiVincenzo does much more offensively than Gary Payton. But the problem is that Bonta, he's so afraid to shoot that outside shot.
Well, I think you got to make the commitment.
And it's really affected his psyche.
I think what it is he knows that he misses. All of a sudden, Steve Kerr has a quick hook.
Yeah.
He's not going to see minutes.
Yeah.
If he knew the game plan coming in, hey, DDV, you're getting 18 to 25 minutes. Boom. I think you get a different player. I think you get a different player who's more locked in and more engaged. So not only can he do more offensively, he could be that threat. The Lakers aren't going to allow him to be wide open on the three-point line, no matter how bad he's shooting. Gary Payton II, they're playing him like Draymond Green.
Yes.
So I can't have GP2 and Draymond on the floor at the same time because it compromises his spacing.
Yeah, and there were times where it felt like LeBron and Anthony Davis were taking possessions off defensively. So no, I'm extremely I'm eager to see what those maneuvers are. If you're asking me who will have a more impact on this series moving forward, I think Moody over GP2 at times because Moody offensively can give me a little more. I feel like his rebounding's there. At GP2, look, we all love him. I don't love this matchup for him. I just don't. I think that their IQ defensively, the Lakers, and I kind of talked about this heading into game one. You know, LeBron, when it comes to defensive strategies, we can argue about what he isn't. He's really smart. He knows what he's doing. A LeBron team does a great job not honoring guys they don't need to honor. That's one thing that he's always been buttoned up on. Defensively, he knows who to guard, where to guard, their tendencies.
Well, that's the problem.
I have tremendous respect for his basketball IQ.
Well, you know what? He knows how to be lazy on defense, too. He knows.
Well,
and so,
smart.
It's smart.
It's
no
savvy
doubt.
to me.
Well, it's smart. The game plan is I'm not going to guard these guys.
Yes.
Well, you know what,
Yes.
LeBron? I need you to come out here and guard.
Yes.
You have to make them defend.
I want to see him get into the pick and roll action in terms of defense.
Get him on Steph Curry.
Yes.
Get him on Andrew Wiggins. Get him on Jordan Poole.
Don't let him be a roamer.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought that was a mistake in game one. You got to get Anthony Davis moving off the block. You got to get LeBron James moving around on defense. He does not like to guard at a high level. If you wear him down, all of a sudden then he becomes less and less of a ball handler. All of a sudden he becomes less and less of a threat from the perimeter. You look at what he's done in the playoffs. Again, he was 8 of 41 from the three-point line against the Memphis Grizzlies. He goes 1 of 8 Tuesday against the Golden State Warriors in game one. Make him defend, and then you make him become a spot-up shooter. And LeBron James, you're not going to shut him down because he'll be able to get to the cup, but you will make him less effective. And then you still shut down the others. You got to cut the water off of D'Lo and Dennis Schroeder.
Yes.
You allowed them to go 38-9 for the point guard spot. D'Lo started cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking with the mid-range against Klay Thompson, the mid-range against Steph Curry, the mid-range against GP2. D'Lo had his way.
He got to his spots, and he kind of like a knifer, the way he was going through the defense, and they absolutely need to shut him down. You can't have both those guys going off. I think one or the other is you can survive. You can't have both of them. Bonta, they were hunting Jordan Poole and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, it felt like, and laughing, especially once they got into the bonus.
They were laughing. They got into the bonus. Now, here's the deal with the Lakers, and we'll get the referees in just a second, but I noticed too, and there's threads out there on Twitter, but you watch it back, the Lakers like to flop.
Oh,
they do like to
Schroeder
flop.
at the top of the key?
How
bad was that?
Anthony Davis does it. D'Lo does it. I mean, they're Hollywood. They're really trying to act like some low-budget actors out there half the time. I mean, they are. They are really trying to get roles in movies. That's what these guys do. They cry. They're front runners. I mean, they flop left and right. Oh, my God. You watch it back, and I'm saying, oh, I missed that. Damn. Like, every time you touch them, you're the more physical team. You get to the free throw line, so you got to be careful if you're going to go to State Warriors not to get ticky-tack fouls. Because the Lakers, whenever they get touched, those dudes do it automatically. It's like they're trained. They're trained as actors. I mean, saw it early in the game. I'm like, damn. I mean, I know Anthony Davis played the Space Jam, but dudes, you weren't that good. I mean, but Mark Davis and Ed Malloy fell for it, so it is what it is. But you got to be careful with the defending without fouling. That free throw discrepancy was disgusting. And I'm not blaming that on the referees. The Lakers earned that. But you can't end the game with 6 free throws if you're going to say words. You got to attack.
Well, and how many free throws did they give once they got into the bonus, where the ball is not being shot up? It's like away from the hoop. I mean, Draymond cited 8 different free throws off the top of his head that they committed where there was no shot attempt.
Yeah.
It was because you're in the bonus, and it's just a bad foul.